trust and excellence since 1904.
Welcome. This is the market wrap. Well, we have seen the indices advance by another 22 odd points. The positive is that we've ended the day with gains for the fourth straight day, and we are also seeing advances with the Nifty inching back towards the mark of 11,000. It's struggling, but we're still seeing that move. And with respect to the gainers, we have Zee Entertainment right at the top of the list, followed by Titan Company, UPL and Dr. Reddy's. On the losing end, Coal India, Tata Motors and Tata Steel, along with some weakness in ONGC as well. Of course, we've also had earnings, particularly in the last 1 hour trade, and we're going to talk about that in a little more detail as well. But on that note, I'm going to get in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, to get in his perspective. Neeraj, what are your thoughts now? We're inching and we're so struggling to get towards that 11,000 mark, but it's just not happening.
It's not happening, but I would term today as yet another day.
Wherein
the large caps have stayed flat, the mid caps have cracked. Small cap index down another 1.5%, while the Nifty might be showing a flattish performance, right? But I think today's market was characterized by one definitive move, is that even a hint or suspicion of some bit of issue with a company, bad results or otherwise, CG Power a case in point. Postponement of the board meeting, the market started believing that something must be amiss. Stock got punished 16%. So that was a sharp gash. IRB Infra down about 11%. Suzlon 30%. They tried to issue some clarification dinner. It's a penny stock, but I'm just using that as an example. ADEG continues to fall over 25% second day on a trot. And it's not just Arcom, it's a lot of other names. So bipolar to another level and likely to continue, seemingly from the looks of it. The volumes today were tepid, Agam, so don't quite know that. I don't know what the FNO positions look like. You would have a better handle there. But certainly looks like the pain in the broader markets is not going away in a hurry. Well, not going away in a hurry, yes, of course. But again, Neeraj, it's going to be about earnings as we move into the last leg as well of earnings. But thank you for joining us and getting us this perspective here. And that said, well, I'm going to quickly start by talking about some of the key earnings that have come through. First one, right at the top, we have Tech Mahindra. Well, the earnings came through with in the last 5 minutes of trade. We saw your revenues, which are largely in line with expectations, but where we saw a good fillip was your margins. Our expectations was 15.5%. It posted EBIT margins at around 16%, and thereby it's a bottom line which stood at around 1,200 crores as against our expectation of 1,100 crores. So it certainly turned out to be a good quarter operationally for Tech Mahindra, and of course all eyes will be on what the management has to say with respect to its telecommunications business, specifically on the back of 5G's allocation in Europe. But on the whole, it's turned out to be a good quarter. But we've had another very key earnings from the cement sector, which also announced earnings, ACC. And we have Nikki Mirchandani, who's joining us to give us an update on the same. Nikki, how did ACC's numbers look good?
Well, the stock sank as much as 3.5% in trade. It did recover by the trade, but then again ended lower by the cut of around 1.5%. Not good set of numbers reported by the company. Typically, operational performance was a little disappointing as compared to what the street was estimating, but then the unitary operating performance, that's the EBITDA per ton unit, that's where the disappointment crept in. Also, the bottom line performance of the company, which on adjusted basis missed the estimates by a huge margin. A 12% uptick coming on the bottom line performance of the company. Mainly, this was led by a muted realization and the higher expense, which weighed down on the operational performance of the company. Also got to do with the fact that much of the cement companies actually saw recovery by the close of the trade on account of some reports suggesting that there could be a potential price hike, or there have been a price hike in the southern region of the country, which if it is true is a great sign, because that means that the pricing power slowly is creeping back into the sector. Now remember, South Pocket is the most weakest one amongst the sector, and the recovery coming back in that pocket definitely augurs well for cement stocks.
Nikki, thank you you for joining us and getting us those updates too. But there was also one gainer on the Nifty, and that's Dr. Reddy's. Some positive news coming here. We have Darshan Mehta who's joining us to give us an update there. Darshan?
Yeah, so good news finally coming in. The Suboxone film, which has been a big pain point for Dr. Reddy's because they were not able to launch it for a while. So the US courts actually went ahead and ruled in favor of Dr. Reddy's. They told Endeavour that, they cannot block Dr. Reddy's from, going ahead and selling this drug. And they say by by the 11th of this month, the lower courts will actually vacate the verdict, which means that, it's a big drug, $750 to $800 million worth of brand sales that are there. So it's a positive. No doubt competition will come in. It will become much less attractive than what it was earlier. But nevertheless, the launch itself will be a big delta as far as the US business is concerned. No doubt the counter reacting positively to
it. Right. Darshan, thank you for joining us and getting us those details. And of course, Dr. Reddy's is something that we have been talking about and watching as well with respect to Indivior specifically. But on that note, it's a wrap on the markets. But lots more lined up. Stay tuned to Bloomberg.